we're going to hop into the meeting. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to start sharing my slides because I always have slides available. All right. So let me know if you guys can see this. I had trouble last time.
I can see it.
All right, perfect. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining our latest Phoenix Crypto meetup. So happy everybody's here. So tonight we will be going over how to mint an NFT with Phoenix Crypto featuring our very special guest, Adrian Ekelmans. It's going to be a super fun night. And of course, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to drop them in the chat. And then there's also going to be a Q&A at the end. So again, welcome everyone. This is going to be our agenda for today. I'm just going to do a quick welcome and overview of the Phoenix Crypto chapter in case you haven't attended before. And then we're going to pass it over to Adrian, and he's going to present all about NFTs and actually show us how to mint one, which I know is a super hot topic and I'm sure is on everyone's minds right now if you're in the crypto sphere. Then we'll have some Q&A so we can talk about NFTs. And Adrian's just an all-around, very knowledgeable guy all about crypto, so we can just chat about NFTs or anything else crypto related. And then at the very end, I'm just going to unmute everyone. So if you want to stay and just, chat with people that are here, we're going to have that. Totally cool. We actually did that at the end of last meetup, and it was just super awesome. Everyone just started hanging out together. So we definitely want to do that again for this meetup. So again, welcome to Phoenix Crypto. If you haven't joined us before, we are a Codecademy community. There's a whole bunch of other chapters, but we just happen to be the Phoenix Crypto one. And we are a group that is all about talking about crypto, learning about it, discussing it, everything. So we usually have about 2 sessions a month. One is more technical. It could be like a workshop. And then some of our meetups tend to be more discussion-based, or we have a guest speaker like Adrian joining us tonight. So we're just trying to create really interesting programming all about crypto that, helps people really learn about it, whether you're a novice or you're like a super technical Solidity expert. So just trying to create really open, welcoming space for everyone. So again, we're happy you're here. If you want to connect with us, we have a Twitter here, Phoenix_crypto. We post our events on there, any articles that we post, just general crypto articles and stuff. So definitely follow that. And then to check out our actual chapter page, the link's there on the bottom. And that's where all of our actual event pages are. So that's where you can go look at our current ones or any past events, and you can RSVP to them as well. And while we're here, I also just wanted to give a very special welcome to the newest members of the Phoenix Crypto team. So last meetup, I announced Amelia, who I'm so happy to have as my vice president, but we have some new people on the team as well. We've got Jimena, who's helping out with marketing and social media, and also Kresna, who's on the call, who's helping out with graphic design. So super excited to have more people helping out with the chapter so we can just grow it and make it as good as possible. So I mentioned we also have a blog. We post blog posts every couple of weeks just about relevant crypto topics. And we actually have a new one that was published yesterday. I talked with this artist called Showdeer, who's actually also an NFT artist. So I just sort of got his thoughts on, what is it actually like being an artist who's minting their artwork on the blockchain. So really interesting interview with him. So if you're interested in learning about the artist perspective in this whole NFT craze, then definitely check it out. The link's there as well. And again, we're trying to make this blog more community oriented. So if you have an idea and you're here tonight and you want to write about it, please just let me know and we can get your blog published on the Codecademy platform. So just wanted to plug that real quick. And also, I'm so excited because Phoenix Crypto, we have our own Discord server. So before we were actually on the Codecademy server, but it was really hard to talk to each other, especially just about crypto things. So we actually created our own Discord. The link's on here, but Amelia, if you could go ahead and send that link in the chat as well. Please join. As you can see for this tiny screenshot, it's really popping. We have a bunch of different channels, Bitcoin, Ethereum, random crypto learning. So yeah, definitely please join it if you want to, join a really awesome crypto community. We're just trying to grow that a lot. So there's that. And okay, with that, I'm going to stop sharing. And okay, so Adrian, if you want to take over and share your screen, then we can get this NFT party started.
Awesome. I will do that. Great. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, I can see it.
Perfect.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
We can see everything? Everything good?
Yep, everything's great. Take it away.
Awesome. Well, first off, I want to thank Amelia and Mackenzie for having me. I really enjoy the opportunity to actually discuss crypto with other people. I've never really had this opportunity before, so it's fun for me to do this. And I look forward to joining the Discord server. So first things I want to give out is my background. I'm actually in research. I'm in sleep medicine research at Stanford University. I got into crypto in early 2017 when I was back in college, and my interest has just grown from there. I'm not a very technical person. I don't code or anything like that, but I've just been involved in more of a trading capacity and more of the finance version of just the crypto sphere and learning as much as I can. And it's just something I really enjoy, and it's my pastime. Um, so in this case, I am going to talk about NFTs today. It's the hot topic. I think it's super interesting. It's helping artists really monetize their work. And I'm also going to discuss some concerns with NFTs and maybe ways to fix those concerns. So let's get started. And at the very end, we can ask some questions and I'll go everything with you guys. So here we go. What's an NFT? So NFTs, most of you probably know, but they're non-fungible tokens. Most NFTs are minted on Ethereum. So you have two contracts that usually work with Ethereum. You have the ERC20 contract, which is basically your altcoin contract. A lot of the altcoins you see now are ERC20 coins. And they are fungible coins, meaning that they can be interchanged with each other. They can be actually exchanged. If you exchange one chain link for another chain link, you are getting the exact same coin. Now, NFTs are a little different. They're non-fungible, meaning that one NFT there's no identical NFT to another. They are one of a kind and they cannot be interchanged with one another. Yes, there are asset exchanges for NFTs, but they're not on the same playing level with one another. Then little animation. So like comparing apples to oranges. So NFTs can be various things. They can be art, papers. I know there's an NFT essay that has been published, and I believe 9 Ethereum was raised for the publication of this essay, allowing that writer to keep making more work. So it's nice to see things like that. Domain names, blockchain domain names are NFTs. Videos, music, and even representative ownership, which I find to be probably one of the most compelling reasons to have NFTs and future use cases. And we'll go into more of that. So some examples, we've seen the crazy works like Beeple's 68 million work, and that's the background photo. You got NBA Top Shots, who really drove home to more of a mainstream market, bring sports into NFTs and collectibles. People love that. I've had friends who have not even spent a day in crypto and they see NBA Top Shots, and next thing I know, I'm getting calls, oh, what are NFTs, asking all these questions. And it's nice to see more people are actually learning and getting educated about the sphere. I mentioned an essay posted on NFT, Scissor Labels by John Palmer. That was one of the first essays ever written on an NFT, and he raised the money to write the essay as well. So as he raised almost 10 Ethereum, and given current market price, that's a pretty substantial amount. I saw there's NFTs for tokenizing real estate. There's houses that are for sale, and also, like I said, there's domains, and one of the companies that's working with NFT domains is Unstoppable Domains, and they're really focused on bringing blockchain domains to the mainstream, and that's a very cool project as well. So next, let's talk about the difference between the contracts for NFTs. So similarities, ERC20s and ERC21, they're both on Ethereum. These smart contracts basically give you guidelines to mint your respective tokens. ERC20, like I mentioned, they're fungible. When you actually make an ERC20 token and you're trading that token, inside the contract is a small database or ledger that's basically has your address and then how many coins are in that address and so forth. These access are usually stackable. Then you have the ERC 721 contract, which I mentioned this is what's going to make your NFT. This is what's going to make your token non-fungible. It's going to give you a unique token, one token at a time. This, and given blockchain, we're actually able to represent this is a verified original of an NFT, or this is the original token, and whatever people put onto that NFT is up to them. They could put images, art, like I mentioned. NFTs can almost be any form of data. Differences with, like I said, ERC20s are fungible. ERC 721s aren't. There is one more subcategory that I didn't mention in the slides. It's a ERC 1155 or 1115. I'm not sure, but this allows for the multiple minting of NFTs. So you can basically mint multiple NFTs on the same contract, and that's kind of the only difference between that one and the rest. NFT marketplaces. I mean, just like how there's crypto exchanges like Gemini, Coinbase, I mean, even DEXs like PancakeSwap and Uniswap. There are marketplaces for these. There are exchanges for NFTs, and that is really driving home one of the biggest use cases for these. Artists are able to monetize their work. People are getting paid directly for their efforts. They're not dealing with some kind of holding company or some kind of, even in music, you have the record labels taking a percentage. All the proceeds are going to the people making the art, and that's something beautiful to see. Some of the big ones are OpenSea, and that's what I'm going to be doing the demonstration on how to mint an NFT. Rarible, Mintable, Unique One, and Nifty Gateway. They all are marketplaces for NFTs. I believe Nifty Gateway is one where a $9.9 million Banksy was minted. Don't quote me on the price, but it was close, something like that. So next. All right, so I'm going to go in how to mint an actual NFT. And full disclosure, this is probably the easiest way to mint an NFT. There's really nothing technical behind it. We're going to be using OpenSea. It's a fairly user-friendly platform. There is a fee associated when you first make a profile. You'll be logging in with your MetaMask wallet, and to create a profile, you'll have to pay a gas fee. That gas fee, for me, when I did it a couple months ago, and that fee was about $40 40 USD. So really, depending on the gas is what you're going to be paying. If you don't want to spend the 40, I get it. Maybe wait for ETH2 and your gas fees will be a little less. So without further ado, let me move into the video. And I pre-recorded this just because I wanted to make sure all the transactions went through really quickly. And here we go. And we're going to be minting a picture that I took of just my breakfast because it was the easiest thing I could find. Okay, so come on, there we go. All right, so just logging into OpenSea, and you will need a MetaMask wallet to use OpenSea. I'm hiding my credentials, obviously, but if you do end up creating an account and you want to go into this, then go ahead and make a MetaMask and then use that ETH address. And so everything you do on OpenSea will be connected to that ETH address. Just fair warning, as well as like other platforms as well will usually use some kind of a MetaMask or maybe even a Trust wallet. So right here, I'm actually creating a marketplace for my NFT. This is where I'm going to be selling my collection out of. I just got a non-copyright Galaxy picture for this mint example, just an example. And then takes a little time. So now we've created the actual marketplace. So now from here, we can build the NFT. And so I'm going to add an item. So I'm adding an NFT. And I said I'm going to be minting a picture of my breakfast. So it's just a normal JPEG image I took on my iPhone. And some Avo toast and eggs.
It really reminds me of Etsy, Adrian, like the Etsy for crypto.
Yeah,
I
guys,
love
it's on there. So
it.
you want to buy my NFT if you really like the picture of the breakfast. No,
It
but
is a
it's
pretty
honest.
distinct breakfast.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's the most user-friendly way to do it. So you can add a description on your item. I mean, a lot of the bigger artists will add very like compelling descriptions on what their art is and describing it. You can also add unlockable content, which is super interesting. So if someone buys your NFT, then you can throw a message in there, and you can say, hey, like you can, or a signature, anything you really want. It's a free game. And so see the supply, it's just a one. I believe they are using an ER 721. If a contract, if they're using an ERC, it's the 1155 or 1115. I think you'll be able to mint multiple. I don't think OpenSea has that capability yet, but I believe they are working on it. And then this is minting. And in the background, you can't see it right now, but my MetaMask is up right now, and I'm digitally signing everything right now. And to do a digital signature, it doesn't cost any gas. So once you create the OpenSea account, there is no gas fees associated anymore. You can mint as many NFTs as you want for free. So now the NFT is created, great. Now I need to, if I'm an artist, so I would want to sell my NFT. So I'll go to the sell tab. And this is where I really can set my pricing. I can set a price for the NFT straight out. And this is what I'm going to do because it's a lot easier. But you can also set an auction price. And with the auction price, you can set a reserve value, how much you are willing to take for it. If you don't meet the reserve value, then your NFT won't sell, and things like that. And then you can also group items to sell. If you make multiple NFTs, you can group them as kind of a little package. And interesting. And then OpenSea also does something interesting. You're able to make royalties. So if, let's say, you sell an NFT and that NFT keeps getting sold, you're able to take a royalty reward as the original artist. And a lot of platforms allow this. The only problem is I don't believe there's a decentralized way to do this, so it's not interoperable across the Ethereum blockchain. So if it really depends on the marketplace you're using at the time. So that NFT would still have to be sold on OpenSea over and over and over again for you to get your royalties as an artist. And I think that would be one of the things that could really be addressed, because if we're able to make a way that on-chain shows that royalties are sent to original minter of an NFT, that would be great. And see, now I've priced the NFT, it's on the market, and I'm just typing in to see if it's actually viewable to the public. And so it's on there for 0.001 ETH, minted it for free. You can mint as many as you want. Super easy. And slow down right here. There's the Avo and eggs. It's on there. As you can see, there's some other cool art on there.
Can you share a link to that at some point before this ends in case someone wants to buy it?
I'll do it when we do the discussion. I'll find it on there and put the link.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, and so that kind of ends the demonstration of the NFT. I wanted to go into some concerns I had with NFTs. Some of you might have read about this already, but so when you have an ERC 721 contract, your image or the data that you are putting on top of that coin isn't actually, well, it can be embedded inside the coin. That would be storing the data on chain. And that's totally possible. But for larger files, it becomes too expensive and you're paying outrageous gas fees. So a lot of artists have opted out of minting on chain and they've moved to centralized servers. And in the contract, they'll put a link that will take the person that bought that NFT when they view it to a place where that data is stored. And if that data is stored in a centralized place, let's say that you bought a Banksy for, I don't know, $60 million, and you click on your NFT one day and you want to look at it, show your friends, and there's no picture anymore because the company that owned that server went out of business. Or even there's been cases where people have been able to sell the NFT. The original artist has gone back and changed the image. And I believe there's an artist that did this. He called this the rug pull NFT. And that was kind of interesting. And I believe his whole statement was to show that these things can be changed. So minting on chain, I mean, obviously better, but there is a cost with that. I mean, hopefully with ETH2 that will be less, but who knows? I'm not a technical guy, so I'll see more of like a user-friendly interface when this all comes out. The other way that people are minting these and kind of going around using maybe like an AWS server or other like a cloud server is they're using IPFS or interplanetary file system. And so this is great. But the problem with interplanetary file system, it's not necessarily a data storage system. It's more of a directory. It gives you a code where you can, okay, that code points to where the data is. And if the node that your NFT file is on goes down or is not connected to the internet, you're not going to be able to access that NFT. So a lot of people are using services like Pinata, and there's another one that I think is sponsored by the Ethereum Foundation. It starts with an I. That they're using these to actually pin it to IPFS, make sure that if someone goes to access their NFTs, there's multiple clones on there. And also Filecoin is interesting too, because this is actually designed to hold data, and Filecoin is built on top of IPFS. So that might be another way to ensure that when you go to find your NFT data, that your image is there, that your video is there, that the content that you bought is actually there and is stored for the long term. So yeah, that's something that I feel like in this whole NFT craze, people haven't been paying attention to. I wanted to go over, as I said, most NFTs are minted on Ethereum, but there are competitors. I mean, Tezos, people are talking about minting NFTs on Tezos. I think they might have already have. I mean, the biggest competitor, in my opinion, right now for Ethereum is Solana. I've been on the Solana's kind of main site, and I've been reading a lot of people are building NFT marketplaces already. They're building exchanges to actually transact these NFTs and build an ecosystem. So it'll be interesting to see how much of a user base that gains compared to Ethereum, especially since we're having a little trouble going into ETH2, or it might take a little longer to go to ETH2. I'd like to see like how the market behaves and dealing with like high gas fees and exactly what they demand from a chain. Even the XRP Ledger, I know XRP Ledger, they've been talking about bringing NFTs. I think they might be doing it through Flare, which is another chain that integrates Ethereum smart contracts. Even Binance Smart Chain, there's a BEP20 contract. There's also for Binance, basically the Binance version of altcoins, and then you have a BEP, I think it's BEP 721, just like Ethereum, and that's for non-fungible tokens. And there's actually blockchains that are geared specifically towards NFTs. One of the ones I found, it's called Flow, and they really just, their focus is NFTs. They want to be the NFT chain. So these are some interesting competitors. Yeah.
Flow is really interesting because they're the ones who made Crypto Kitties and NBA Top Shot. It's Dapper Labs.
Oh, yeah. So I thought that was a good one to throw in there. It's funny because everyone's using ETH, but then you think of an NFT, you're thinking ETH, but in reality, it's not the case. Yeah. So future directions. One thing is with this entire space is crypto's moving 1,000,000 miles an hour at all times. And with our normal systems that we have, like governmental and just laws, regulation does take time to catch up. So things like copyright transference. So the question begs, if I sell my work as an artist, does the copyright get transferred to the new owner of the NFT? Because under current law, at least in the US, there needs to be in writing that there is a transfer of copyright. And I'm not sure an NFT actually encompasses that ability to present that to a governmental authority, say, hey, I want to transfer the copyright, and maybe an NFT doesn't do that, or at least regulation hasn't caught up to that. As I mentioned, there are houses being sold as NFTs. There's one in St. Louis where someone's selling 50% of a house as an NFT. And that's another thing. Does an NFT represent a valid contract for buying a house? That's something you'd have to discuss with a lawyer. That's something that basically they're going to have to make new laws to encompass. Outside of that, for future direction, I think new use cases are super interesting, like deeds to houses on NFTs. And obviously the law would have to encompass that, but an NFT represents a verifiable original document if you have it on there. And you can make it transferring a deed very easy. You could transfer a deed like you'd send an email, and everything just flows perfectly. Even housing leases, if you're renting out to new tenants, you have the old tenant send, okay, what's your ETH address? I'll send you the NFT via ETH. And then they sign, then they're the new owner, they have the lease, they keep going, they digitally sign. It's there is a lot of use cases for these things. Like another one I noticed is actually tracking supply chain and tracking, are things coming from free trade? Are things free trade? Are they organic? Do they have the documentation behind this? And I forgot what the company was, but there's some companies working on that right now. And I mean, this is a very new thing, and the use cases are out there. They just need to be found and have people smarter than me but working on those, I'm sure. So any questions? That kind of concludes what I had to say about NFTs.
Okay, well, there is one question. I don't know much about music releases like the Kings of Leon album.
I don't know about specific releases given on NFTs. If they are releasing music on an NFT, that's going to be pretty interesting, because I'd like to see exactly like, is it like the writing piece where multiple people are, after they meet a certain threshold of ether or whatever they're selling their album in, that the rest of the community or the rest of the world can see the album? I don't know. I'm not well versed on that, but that'd be a good thing to look into.
Yeah, I'll have a quick look if there are any other questions. Anyone else? Quick questions? Well, I mean, I have a few questions too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do my best. As I said, like, the NFTs are definitely not my specialty, but I'd be glad to just discuss them. Yeah.
So, well, not necessarily about NFTs, but could you explain gas prices? Because that seems like a really, I guess, big hurdle for like new adopters to get into the space. Everybody's asking questions like, what is this?
Yes. So
like, why do I have to pay this?
Yes. So I mean, I was there at one point too. You first get into Bitcoin, you first get into Ethereum, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna send myself some Ethereum. And then you go on there and you're like, why is it costing me money to send myself my own money? And it's gas basically keeps the network functioning. Let's say I wanted to send Amelia 1 Ethereum right now. In order for me to send that Ethereum, I need to pay miners, and miners are paid in gas. And you can pay higher gas fees to have your transactions verified at a faster rate. But this is an incentivized network, and that's what makes it's beautiful, because that's what makes crypto work. People are making money from verifying other people's transactions, and people are able to do what they want on chain anytime they want because of that. And so the gas fee is to basically have your transaction go through. You're paying the network for its use. Yes. And then higher gas fees. I should probably go into this. So Ethereum is proof of work. That means in warehouses everywhere, there's people with GPUs, millions of dollars of GPUs, just mining, solving blocks, getting rewarded for those blocks. And with that, also comes greed. If you can get more for a block when there's a bottleneck in transactions, you're going to charge higher gas fees. You are going to get as much money. So network congestion equals higher gas fees because people are trying to get their transactions through quicker. So they're willing to pay more. And I mean, that can really exclude someone who hasn't been in this space for a long time. Because if you're in this space, I mean, early, 100 Ethereum's nothing to you, right? You're like, okay, I'll pay the gas fee, whatever. But like for like people like me, for people that are just getting into this, people are like, I have to pay a 0.3 Ethereum gas fee to do something. That's why would I do that? And that's where ETH2 is really going to come in. And I mean, I have a lot of comments on ETH2. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think ETH2 is going to be great. I mean, we're going to be seeing proof of stake. We're going to be seeing a decline in gas fees. I don't think the miners are going to like it very much. In my personal opinion, I think they're going to fork. I mean, I would if I was a miner. Taking away my ability to mine, I'd fork the coin and keep mining as long as I could. But I think when we have ETH2, when we have these new scaling things like roll-ups and sharding, and we're going to see a massive, massive push on Ethereum. I think it's just going to blow up. It's going to be wonderful. And all those DeFi applications that we all love using are going to run smoothly.
I can't wait for that. I'm so excited for ETH too.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm really interested to see what happens with competitors. Like Solana, that's their whole game right now. They're like, Ethereum's unusable. Come here, migrate to our chain. And then
so how are they combating gas fees? Like these other chains that are just NFTs, don't they have high gas fees as well? Like, how does that work?
It's just different protocols.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know much about other chains. Yeah, go ahead.
I think OpenSea was in talks with a developing group that does something called Immutable X, which is a different way of solving problems, basically. Like with what they're saying is going to be zero gas fees, but their project is really interesting. You should probably have a look at it.
Yeah, I'll check
it out. I think it's called Immutable X. That's what it is.
Immutable X.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
yeah.
Do you know what are they? I don't even. Never mind. I'll just read about it. Show me the white paper. Let me read it.
Yeah. And then, okay, there's some other questions in the chat. There's one here about environmental concerns, which is a huge topic.
Yes. So, I mean, there is an environmental concern. There's obviously like you're using electricity to even like BTC network, ETH network, any proof of work network. You are using electricity to run these miners. And we all know where electricity comes from, mostly fossil fuels, not much sustainable energy. I mean, with Ethereum changing to proof of stake, it's becoming eco-friendly, right? It's becoming, it's way more than it is now anyway. And I think, I mean, that's definitely a point that we need to look to for the future, given our current situation, climate change and things like that. But
I think it's really interesting. Yeah. Because just in general, like running a database, like how the internet basically runs, and all the kind of cloud services are burning energy as well. Just that nobody talks about it because they get like what do you call that? Reduction on their taxes and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, you get carbon credits.
Yeah, all kinds of strange things on.
Those are traded.
Yeah, so there are other strange things going on in the air. I mean, like, but I think that like blockchain has the opportunity to do like a better, like to have I guess a better impact and maybe show everyone else that you can be more environmentally friendly. So that's why I'm really excited about ETH2, because it could be really good. And I think there's some other coins coming out like Cardano and stuff that are a bit more environmentally, I guess, friendly. But that remains to be seen once they get lots more volume.
We need to see a functioning smart contract on Cardano.
Yeah, like, is it working? I don't know.
I'm not trying to get into a crypto war with anyone, but I'm a very like show me what you can do kind of guy, and like I want to see like something works before I throw money at it. Let's be honest. Yeah, I think the whole environmental concerns about it are interesting. Also, another thing, I mean, I don't know about. I know California here in 2024. If we look at electric vehicles, all cars sold in California have to be electric, and I mean, there's concerns with that too. Like, our power grid can't even take a 20-degree change in temperature before we have intermittent blackouts. So that, and then the production of these cars as well. I mean, that's in our environmental impact. Like, it's not just crypto. Like, everyone can like get mad at crypto about like, oh, BTC is generating so much carbon, but I mean, we got to look at everything here. And BTC is one piece of a much larger puzzle.
Yeah. But that's
but
a
like
debate.
you said, we have the opportunity to be like innovators when it comes to these types of things, and I think that is a great opportunity.
Because personally, I think like especially for artists and like digital artists, it's such a good opportunity that you'd really like for them to finally get paid. Like these are artists that just their work used to get ripped off all the time, and like it's like the best way. I don't know.
I mean, either way, it's gonna reduce. I mean, all around, I think everything, carbon emissions are gonna reduce. They're gonna find ways to. I mean, and we'll keep the functionality that we enjoy.
Oh man, yeah. So I think someone mentioned game development in here, and NFTs related to games, but there's a specific question. If a player unlocks a legendary NFT, would the royalty option be for the player or for the dev minter?
That's a great question.
That is a good question. I don't know. I am not. I will tell you this. I'm not an expert when it comes to that. I would think, and like I mentioned, with a lot of the royalties, they are platform based. So this is what's happening in the background. So you sell I mint an NFT on OpenSea. I sell an NFT on OpenSea. OpenSea is the one that's giving me my Ethereum royalty. And they're an entity doing that. It's not on chain. It's not decentralized. It's a company doing it. And so if that doesn't exist, I'm not getting a royalty. So unless they create a solution in that someone is able to, mint anywhere or sell this thing anywhere, and on chain it says yes, part of that transaction is going to this ETH address. That's when the original artist will get it. But I don't see that right now. It might be out there. I don't know about it, but I don't think it is.
I thought that commission was part of the.
And he also mentioned.
I thought that commission was part of the actual smart contract. So is OpenSea writing that smart contract? Then, like, can't you just write that into your own? Because it's odd, the protocol controls it.
From what I've read, from a lot of the things, is a lot of these. Because I don't think they're just writing it in there. I think that OpenSea is actually giving the money to the creator, from what I understand. Yeah,
that makes more sense.
I mean, if that's different, then I didn't find it when I was doing some research on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he mentioned Engine as well, which is a blockchain for products.
I don't know much about Engine. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, I know that they're releasing a game called Age of Rust, which is supposed to have NFTs included in game. So that's pretty cool. What I thought was interesting too is I was at a Decentraland
yes,
chat
I love
it. Mackenzie knows about this.
Amazing.
So yeah. We were so we were in Decentraland, like wondering about, which by the way is like, how to explain it? It's the metaverse. So game into with an avatar. And are you hearing me? Are you hearing me now?
Yeah,
I can
I can hear you. Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Right. Everything just froze there for a second. So yeah, Decentraland, and they were talking about gaming NFTs and the idea that you could be in a game with your avatar and then take that avatar into Decentraland, for instance. I thought that was very cool.
Like what like a collectible or like that you bring with the avatar?
Yeah, like a collectible
Interesting.
NFT.
Huh.
Yeah, that you bring with
That's
the
cool.
avatar.
That's really cool. And it's
I'm
just
not.
and I'm sure it's just all on the ETH address, right? And like would support it. Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah, I
very
think
cool.
so. So they have cool stuff like that like coming up. I'm not sure Age of Rust is going to have that kind of interoperability, but they've been talking about it, so maybe it will become a thing. You know. Yeah. Any other questions? Can I see? Not any more from the chat. Mackenzie, do you have any?
I had one question.
questions?
I think you were going to go back and mention this. You mentioned representative ownership as one of
Yes.
sort of what NFTs can do. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So kind of one of the ideas I was thinking about is you have a pink slip for your, like you have a car, you have a pink slip here in the US that represents that's your car. It has your signature, basically like this represents ownership of my car. If that was put onto an NFT and linked to some kind of database that's holding that pink slip, you'll have a digital representation of ownership on that car. So let's say I want to sell my car on Craigslist. I walk in, we do it, and then someone wants to sell it to me for ETH or even US dollars or whatever, USDC. Then I'll say, okay, you gave me, and I'll transfer that NFT to you, and it's verifiable. This was the originally created coin, and now it has that pink slip on it. So I was thinking anything that could be used as an ownership, like a deed to a house, even like some kind of leasing agreements, things like that. Just something that really solidifies that here's a digital copy of an agreement we had in the real world. And now you can transfer it anywhere you want on the planet, like an email. Super easy. And then, I mean, with that, like I said, there has to be laws. I mean, governments have to actually recognize that, yes, that NFT, like you can make an NFT of this and we will accept that as a transaction or a transference of ownership. That infrastructure and law would have to be there.
NFT lawyers, that would have to be a whole field.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. It's a brand new field. It's a brand new just industry that hasn't gotten much attention in terms of regulation. And that's what we really need. We need clear guidelines. We like, what is the state saying that we can and can't do? And what are laws that the state are doing saying why can't we do that? What's the issue with that? And I mean, let's be honest, crypto will always find a way to usurp any type of unfavorable regulation. And instead of the state kind of butting heads with the crypto people, I mean, let's work together on this. Let's make something that basically makes the system better and easier to use. And I mean, representative ownership on Ethereum would be wonderful. I'd love to be able to be like, yeah, I'll sell Mackenzie my car. Send me ETH.
Yeah, that'd be great. I can't wait for that. I mean, I feel like
it reduces so much friction as well between so many things. Like, for instance, if I wanted to send money from Barbados, where I am right now, to America, that's really difficult and like expensive to do. So like, like the blockchain could help me not have to pay.
100%.
I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, you got companies in San Francisco doing that, like, right? It's like, it's interesting because in like currency legacy payment systems or like remittance payments specifically, you're seeing a lack of transparency. So let's say you send that money here to the US, you don't know like you go in the corresponding banking system. You're like, I don't know, hopefully it gets there. Don't know where it is or when it's going to get there. And how much is going to be taken out in fees? We don't know. They give you an estimate. You never really know. You pay your gas fee. You're right. It's super interesting. It's cool. Very cool.
You mentioned supply chain as well as one of the use cases.
Yes, there is a company doing that right now. Go ahead.
Really? Yeah. Okay. I can see how that would be really good for like medical supply, like things.
Or even inventory.
I'm trying to think.
Like if a company has a lot of inventory.
Just inventory in general.
That would help with like audits and physical inventory so much.
But yeah, it remains to be seen if people will actually, because once you start to include real world actors, like adding information to the blockchain, then people actually have to upload correct information, which could be interesting.
You're right. Data.
Yeah. So yeah, the data has to be correct because it goes on the blockchain and lives there forever. So if you can't, make a mistake and then have to change it. So
it's funny because like that's like these grand ideas for blockchain. I mean, they've been coming out for forever since 2017 when I first got introduced. I was like, whoa, this sounds like the cure for everything. But it's that leap from how are we putting the physical world into the digital world, and how are we making sure that what we see digitally is happening physically? And so that's cool too. That's definitely something that needs to be worked on. But sorry, one thing going back to that, I think for the inventory, they're doing a lot of stuff like with food and like free trade and like free trade verified and things like that. So it's great. Anyway.
There is another question. Will ETH be a different coin, or our ETH will be converted to ETH2 automatically? So
I can answer whatever you
from what I understand, layer 2 is kind of like a faster way to do the calculations and validation, and then it gets entered into layer 1. I think that's how layer 2 is supposed to work. So it's just like so like it's making more transactions able to be done on before it gets entered into Ethereum blockchain, basically.
Yeah, because ETH2 is all just about scale.
Mackenzie can correct me.
Right? I think they're trying to create roll-ups, CK roll-ups, optimistic ones, just so like you can do a lot more stuff off-chain or just minimize the amount of like computing or data that's needed. But I'm pretty sure it's still the same ETH coin. There's not going to be an ETH2 coin. I think they're just trying to like make the network more efficient. Yeah, it's like a front end, exactly.
Basically, it's like the front end to the back end, basically. So, like, if you think about blockchain right now, it's like building a computer again, like from scratch, basically. So, I'm thinking of Ethereum as like the back end layer, basically.
I think the price, that's a good question. I don't know how the price of ETH would change. If anything, I would think it would just go up because you have more people starting to use Ethereum as a blockchain.
Actually using it.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a new currency. And even if it was, again, I think it's just more like a front end, back end sort of thing where the back end just gets more efficient, but the front end's still going to be ETH.
And that's where Adrian was talking about the forks maybe happening because the miners are.
Oh boy.
It will be.
Yeah.
People are going to get rich off the forks. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, man.
Okay, awesome. Well, if there's not any more questions, I do have one last slide to share since we're getting to the top of the hour. I'll just go ahead and share real quick. If you have any more, just feel free to drop them and we can hopefully get to them later. Yeah, I just wanted to plug our next event that's actually happening 2 weeks from now. It's in Decentraland. We're actually hosting our own happy hour. So the event is all already up on our Codecademy page, and the link will actually take you to Decentraland, to the actual event page we have up there. So if you haven't used Decentraland yet, it is so awesome. As Amelia was saying, it's like the metaverse. It's like a blockchain-enabled metaverse. Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah, that is exactly what I would say. And it's filled with random things. So there's a casino, for instance,
Yep.
where you and museums where you can actually go and see some of the NFT art that we were just talking about. Yeah, and I think they're thinking about building in things like jackets and stuff and shoes that would be NFTs that you can carry around on your avatar. So there's a lot of interesting things. Also, they do lots of events in there other than ours. So if you want to go and watch like some artists do DJ sets, they have that inside of Decentraland as well. And conferences, which is what I went to earlier in the week. So,
yeah, I went to a CoinGecko one yesterday, and they were actually like live streaming the CoinGecko event they were having. So it was like actual like real people in the video, but it was all the avatars like standing around this digital screen watching it. So it was really cool. And this is actually my avatar on the screen here. So it's a really cool place. Like you need a MetaMask to get into it, but you don't have to have any money in the MetaMask. So it's completely free to use. You only have to pay if you like want to buy NFT skin or land or something. So yeah, if any questions, just ask us on the Discord. We're super excited for this. So I think that's all I had. But I just want to say thanks for joining, and thank you especially to Adrian for being
Thank
our
you for
special
having
guest
me.
for
I
today.
appreciate it.
yeah,
this was awesome.
We're looking forward to seeing you on the Discord.
Yes, I will join.
Awesome. Yeah, so for anyone who wants to stay and just sort of hang out and chat, we're just going to put everyone off mute. So feel free to stay. If not, totally fine. And hope everyone has a great rest of your day and also weekend. And yeah, thanks for coming again.
I gotta get going, guys. But thank you.
No worries. Feel free to drop.
I will.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian, so much.
We're just here.
I'll send you a text, Mackenzie. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
All right, perfect. Bye.